Hey guys, it's Mythology's Bot here with Lower-Hab-Karl. We're just doing a tactics breakdown and discussion. Yeah, it's been great to see everybody here. Thank you for the likes, the subscribes, support. You guys are amazing. Things just keep getting better. We got almost 40,000 people subs on YouTube and 180 on Twitch as well. So thank you for all making that possible. And let's go into the meat grinder and check this out. So right into Sicarium, straight to the meat grinder Damnation level. And basically what we have are knives, a bolt pistol has a huge AoE, and some stun grenades, right? Just throw them right at people's faces, because they're kind of fun. Which also cause bleed. But when this is out, it'll cause bleed. Watch that. Or maybe not. Maybe just a single target. Yeah, single target. So let's go into the weapons and we'll figure that out first. We'll go into the talent tree and then we'll go into the stim lab and then I'll just go over some basic stuff real quick. So let's go in the operative. So we have the MK1 improvised shivs. So lack of a better term, like I said all the time, mobility is a dump stat, but you could play around with that and see what you like and what you enjoy. I could easily see somebody making a mobility less farce target, but damage is damage. So I have unyielding damage and critical chance on that. Critical chance because it also stacks with a couple inbuilt like class abilities and also has flesh terror with it. It also has uncanny strike for rending in there, and a lot of the strike patterns are usually kind of like towards like throat, neck. Like they're very easy areas to hit with these knives. And then Uncanny Rend does really well with that, even with the Guarded Strike, which is a block push, and then like a stab, which is really good. So Flesh Terror just makes them bleed a whole bunch. Uncanny is just giving you Rend. Perfect. And then let's go down to the Bolt Pistol. So the Godwin Brax Mark 6. Mobility is the dump stat again. And on this one, we have the increased range critical strike, because that does actually flow from talent tree into there, and reload speed. And I have noticed that this gun still does pretty well, even without the like increased flak or other damage unarmored. You could probably change it out if you wanted a better reload or a better critical strike speed. It's up to you guys, really. And on that, I have puncture just to add bleed. Sometimes one shot will tick something away, and then lethal proximity, because you're already in point blank. Shots cause like explosion radius. Like it's huge. It's a big AoE, and it really has a lot of potential to knock things down, do a CC. It's great. I really do enjoy it. It's a fun weapon to do. It really makes a huge boom. And then the Curios, pretty much the same. I have them almost all my characters except for a few. Toughness max at 17%. Toughness regeneration speed. Combat ability regeneration, and damage resistant gunners. And then we have one that has revive speed on it as well. Just because you can't be sitting around there when you're reviving somebody. You will literally just die if you don't have that. So let's go into the talent tree real quick. We obviously start with the top, go down to in your face, so range damage against targets, scaling down. So it's just extra damage. It's amazing. Voice of Tertium, so replenish toughness on ranged attack kill, really good. Speed loader, you're gonna really want to try to max out on that reload speed because of Desperado, because you just get free ammo the more times you reload during that. So the faster your reload is, the more ammo you get, right? Precision violence, now because of the way the knives are, they hit weak spots really well, and then melee critical strikes and weak spots hit replenish 8% and weak spots replenish 12. That just means your critical strike is going to do even more damage against the target, which is great. But yeah, with the stab pattern and just the basic pokey, it's really good at hitting all those points. Calling for a timeout. Toughness damage when reloading. You're going to reload all the time. You're going to have less damage that way. Amazing. Burst of energy, so gain stun immunity for 6 seconds and restore it. Like, so when something gets broken, you aren't immediately dead. Right? Then we have the blackout grenades. I love these because these really stack in well with the bolt pistols. That AoE kills a lot of things at close range. A lot of the small guys it'll absolutely eat alive, which is fun. And then right here in the middle, these are all pretty much the same talents I take for every Hive Scummer. Obviously, gain tough is one that you are required to take, but regain posture, so stamina on successful dodge, right? Nimble, so dodge speed is increased, and your dodging time is increased, which is really good. Even though that's a 0.15 seconds, it is worthwhile. Slippery customer, so while side new counts dodging against melee attacks, that will stack into a lot of the abilities up here, or a lot of them down here, right? And then tis but a scratch, so replenish toughness over 3 seconds after taking range toughness damage. So like you can kind of get in there, get hit, and then get out of cover, right? And hopefully you regain your shields fast enough. So just don't sit in there. And then we did take Gunslinger Improved just because we want more ammo. You spend a lot with this build. You don't have a lot. You have 77 rounds. That's not a ton, right? And here's where I kind of deviated. I had this for the long time, the long-lasting stimm, so it gave you stimm duration. Honestly, I find the toughness boost to be a little bit more important because those shields that you have need to be up all the time, and if they're down, it really sucks. Enhanced Desperado, that's pretty obvious. I can go through the whole thing, but there's a lot of text there. Everybody can read that. Then pick your targets, so it gives rending while Enhanced Desperado is active, very useful, and also highlights and gives range damage. Amazing. Focus Resolve, very good for getting your ability cooldown back. Yeah, I can't really speak to how some of these ones were recently updated, but they're still amazing.
Excuse me.
And then we come over here to the right a little bit, more melee damage, just solid. And then Like the Wind, I like this talent because sprint dodging is available even when stamina is depleted. That's amazing. Still very good. Unload, because you always want that reload speed to come as fast as it can, and it gives you extra range damage, right? Weak spot hit, you're gonna be hitting heads with this thing. If it's a unarmored head or a flak head, you're probably gonna be hitting it in the head. I wouldn't necessarily say that Carapace is your best target, but it's not bad. Hypercritical, so this is critical strikes, instantly kill. So this is just amazing. This will stack into melee and ranged. Pickpocket, because you want to keep that ammo up, especially if you're low on ammo, or if there's a situation where you need to get more ammo and there's none around. I don't like taking ammo from other people. I like being next to them when they take ammo, so I steal a little bit, but that's about it. I don't like to take ammo too much. I definitely ping it for a lot of people. Moving targets, so effective dodges when wielding a ranged weapon. You're going to be wielding a ranged weapon, right? So you might as well have extra dodges with it. Also, mobility is the dump stat, so you will lose maybe a dodge or two off of that. Vulture's Mark, so killing specials or enemies or specialists with your ranged weapon grants you a stack of Vulture's Marks, and then it gives you a whole bunch of bonuses, right? And then Vulture's Push, so killing your leader special enemies with ranged attack knocks all enemies around you backwards. That's awesome. Keeps you alive. Ranged critical attacks, that's where that crit chance for the weapon comes in. Counts as dodging all attacks for 1 second. Great. And then Patient Hunter, so the mark is extended for 12 seconds, which is even better, right? So pretty much come from the top, come over here, grab all these middle ones for dodging. You could probably make some things for either one of these ones, but I really like those ones. And then come back over to Desperado, go through a little bit on the middle to the Like the Wind, and then straight down to the bottom, and all the way through Vulture's Mark. Stimm Lab, pretty much the same thing as other Hab-Karl, the other Lower-Hab-Karl, his other build, except we got Clay, which is ranged kills give ability rate cooldown. The other one that has is our melee one, Hypex. So that is pretty much all the internal stuff. So let's go off to the tactics. So let's start with the knives. I really like these things because the block push is really solid. You see that stab right there? Usually straight towards a critical, and it can stab, it can kill most things that have pretty low armor in the head, like that. The heavy attack, look at that. Pinpoint accuracy. Aim for shoulders, aim for heads. This thing's going to do a lot of damage against any bulwarks or any reapers. And then if you can aim for flak points in some of these joints, right there, it will help. Like, if you can get in within a joint or a flak point or a hand or something, that's really where you're going to pull the most damage. And you can kind of see that Carapace still gets in the way, but the rending will actually get through it, right? And then the side to side, just the normal attack, is just killer. It's a blender. Even on these guys that have pretty hard armor, that rending is still getting through. And then not only do we have the rending, we also have that bleed. Let's see, let me get that bleed to kick off right there. That's still a pretty significant amount of damage of them going away, and that's just a couple attacks, right? You saw how it did skim there. So actually, it did bounce off the armor, and we saw that blue mark. I don't know how that actually, it might have hit like not a, it might have hit like a shoulder guard or something. I don't know. Either way, and then these little knives, I usually throw these at big targets. Usually the shivs I'll throw kind of at bosses and just start letting that eat them alive. And that just 3-shot him. Now, I don't usually have to throw it at Reapers, but if it's real desperate, I will. And then the blackout grenades, these things regenerate. They're amazing. They can stop crushers, knock them straight over. They can knock over maulers like that. They're just really useful. You can also stagger people into you to get them closer to you. You can do a whole bunch of things. If there's a whole bunch of gunners by you, just throw it straight at the gunners. Yeah, I've had enough of that. I've literally had them just shooting at me. I do that. Go away. I don't want any part of your stuff. Right? So that's that. Went over the melees. So let's just go over the range real quick. And we'll see how big this AoE is real quick. Based off us. I'm just going to shoot at this mauler real quick. Ooh, hit. So you see how that guy on both sides, and that's a pretty far distance, were staggered from that and took a little bit of damage. So if you have this thing in a crowd of people, it really comes back. Not only does it help you get back the blackout grenades, because we'll see those probably regenerate in a little bit. I don't know, but there is an entire, I think there's an internal cooldown with that as well. So that's kind of what you're doing. You're kind of looking to get as many close range kills as you can. So the closer they are to you, the better it is. Not to say this thing can't hit at range, and it does hit at range. It's just a little bit more difficult because it's not meant to be a ranged weapon, like a long range weapon, but it is possible to hit things at range. So let's go through. Usually Desperado you're going to want to activate at the very end of your clip, so you get a free clip, right? It reloads and gives you free ammo. And then you just want to aim for anybody that's in close range, aim for heads, aim for backs, aim for weak targets. Anybody that's going to extend that duration, you're going to want to kill. It's in close range. So anybody that's highlighted, nail them. It's going to give you rending too, so it's going to have a little bit more of an effect on those big guys. Atlas is joining us right now. How's you going, buddy? Huh? Yeah? So when that ability's up, you're really going to keep the momentum going, and then towards the end of the ability, if you can do that, reload at the very end so you get a free clip, right? And then we're going to hit the drugs. So obviously the drugs, same principle, kill everybody that you can, as close as you can, and just keep that going, because you can see that visibly move up over there on these ranged attacks, right? And it's back already. So you want to save that until your ability's down and you see a large crowd of people if you can make it. If not, just hit it because you need that back really quick. So, bam, back. And that just knocked everybody down with one explosion. I mean, that was a fire tank as well, but you can get the point, because that will one-shot most things in the head. Anything that's wearing flak, it's usually not safe from you. Yeah, and that's just my ranged Hive-Karl build. My Kaboom build. Usually I have this little, make sure you're kind of moving around. If you're staying still with this build, or any Hive ganger in my opinion, you are probably going to be dead. You can't sit still. You'll take maybe 1 or 2 melee hits, that's it. And you have to get out of shooting. And as long as you have Desperado up, you're immune to range attacks. So that's one good instance where, like, once you have Desperado up, you know no guns can hurt you. I've even used it for points of rezzing people when there's a sniper around. I've hit Desperado, ran up there and rezzed them. Because you're immune to range attacks, and that's not normal. But anyways, I've had a lot of fun with this build. I've really enjoyed playing it. I've seen a couple people comment on its uniqueness. I've seen several other people use it as well. Atlas is in the back with his ball. But I really appreciate you all guys being here. Thank you all so much for your likes and subscribes. Hopefully you enjoy this one. And I think we have a couple other people after this one that people wanted to see. I think the Relic Blade Zealot, and then semi-automatic Liesmith that we're going to do as well after this one. But I'll probably repost that whole thing and make sure everybody has a new little thing up, and we'll go from there until we're out of builds, and maybe I'll find some more builds after that. But thanks, guys. Stay safe out there. Happy travels, safe trails, and I'll see you guys later. Okay, bye.